She was with the AIDS. She had her own AIDS hospice in like the early 90s in Long Beach.
AIDS hospice in the 90s?
Mm-hmm.
That's powerful.
Yeah, so we was like, okay. She was like the first AIDS hospice to get licensed by Community Care Licensing.
Wow.
And they called her the Mother Teresa of Long Beach.
Welcome to the Nurse Boss Shift. It's your girl, Dr. Kiana Jones.
I'm Crystal P, the Beauty NP.
And today we are bringing in a fellow nurse entrepreneur, Adriana Bolden, who is the owner of Third Generation Nursing Academy. And you guys, I'm excited today because Adriana is coming in to drop the tea on this industry, but then also to inspire you guys to become entrepreneurs, which is what we try to do every single week, and some of y'all listening to some of y'all. But anyway, Adriana, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, I am, like you said, Adriana Bolden. I have been a nurse for a total of 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
I did the route CNA, LVN, and then RN. Actually, all three of us, that's where the third gen comes from. So my mom, my grandmother, and myself all did those steps. And yeah, so I am still currently working bedside, but I have started a business along with my mom, and it is called Third Gen Nursing Academy, a CNA school. We provide CPR as well at our school. So we do like a 6-week course or for full time, and then a 10-week course for part-time, and just trying to give everybody like the foundation. I feel like a lot of people want to, I want to be a nurse, and it's like, that's great, but do you have like the firm foundation to actually get you there, take you there, and like lead you to your like nursing career and stuff. So that's kind of what we are into doing.
So tell me, you've been a nurse total for 8 years, I think we talked about, right? All right. And so I love the fact that you're starting the CNA school and you were a CNA and your mom and your grandma was a CNA too, because I think a lot of people who are starting these programs have not been CNAs, and I've been a CNA. Right. Were you a CNA, Crystal?
I never got certified, but I actually worked at UCI. Yeah. My mom had connections, and they took me because I did a lot of volunteer work at hospitals. So they took me, but I did not have the foundation because I remember this nurse coming and she's like, the patient's blood pressure. I just wrote down, it was like 179 over 90.
Cool.
And she was like, the patient, and I remember she ripped my head off. So no, I was not certified, but I did work as
that's funny.
So you worked at okay.
Yeah, they took my experience.
Okay, and I specifically tell my students that now. I'm like, do not just put the blood pressure in there. I said, what do you? So when you get this, what are you gonna do? They're like, oh, I'm gonna go tell the chart. Exactly. Please come and tell the nurse. Like,
so you don't get cussed out.
You're not just. I'm like, because we're not looking at the chart like constantly to wait to okay, let me see what it is. Yes. Like, no, notify us first, and then we can go ahead and do like what we need to do.
And I think that's why it's important to have the background in, especially when you're starting a business or a coaching program, you need the background because you can speak from exactly where they are.
And you're not just saying something.
Right, because you're a nurse, yes, you know what CNAs do and you can do what they do. Correct. But to teach and to make sure that you're putting out good students from where they are, it would be ideal if you have been in that role.
And the issues that they go through, CNAs.
Exactly.
Kind of getting put down. Oh, you're just a CNA. I said, don't let anyone tell you that. You're not just a CNA. I said, we are actually a team.
Yeah, that's good.
We are a team. I said, do you realize when they call a code blue or something, how many people are entering the room? I said, it's not just the nurse. I said, we can't save the day alone. I said, you have respiratory therapists. I said, you have the ER doctors. I said, it's a whole team that comes in there and that's taking on the scene and say, okay, let's get this, hand me that. So don't just look at yourself as just a CNA. I'm like, you are a very, very important role that you play in the healthcare field.
I love that. I was actually a CNA twice. Did you know that, Crystal? Twice. So let me tell you, I just remember too. So I just remember. So, okay, when I had my daughter when I was 17, then at 18, I went to CNA school. I went to Chester Adult School, which is in Compton.
Okay.
I went to school, and then I actually worked as a CNA. So I did skilled nursing facility, I did registry, I did home health, and I also worked at a subacute. And so that's when I actually worked as a CNA. And I did that for about a year and a half. I couldn't do it no more. A year and a half, then I went to I worked at a call center after that. I was like, I'm never doing this again, right? But I did it. And then I got certified again because before the program, I went to UCLA master's program for my nursing. I entered into nursing from that perspective. You had to have your CNA license. So I went back to American Heart Association and I had to have a CNA.
Oh, so I'm
more of a CNA than y'all. That's my point.
I'm really double certified.
I'm double certified.
Like, oh, you did that. Okay. So you really know these vital signs.
Right. I got my vital signs and INOs down pat. Thank you very much. All right. So listen. Okay. So you started this. Tell me what made you decide to. Well, how long have you had Third Generation Nursing Academy, and then why? Like, what made you?
Okay. So how long? We actually started 2023, like around April, I would say, of 2023. It was like, okay, let's find. I think I just kind of came up with the idea and told my mom, like, oh, let's do a CNA school. But I had no idea she wanted to do one years ago and never mentioned it to me. So I was like, okay, let's do a CNA. She was like, okay, let's do it. So we didn't even really have a name yet. We were kind of like, let's start looking at places, let's look at buildings, and let's just try. Which was the hard part, like kind of finding like, where are you gonna do it at? Because everything you would find would be like doctor's offices. So it was really, really small. It wasn't accommodating. So we kind of just went through that process. We figured out a name. Like, this is perfect. Let's do Third Gen Nursing Academy. And then, thank you. And we were like, okay. Then we got with the logo, got the website, kind of just progressed on. So by December, we were like approved by CDPH. So we were so excited. We got the email. We were like, yes. So we were already like buying everything. We found the building in July. Started April 2023. Found the building July 2023. Started moving stuff in. They did a little construction for us because we have like a break room. We have a skills lab. It's like 2,300 square feet.
Oh, that's a pretty nice size. My gosh, that's big.
Yeah, we were like, so we went in, it was kind of all opened up. So we're like, oh, we need a break room. They're like, okay, where do you want the break room? We're like, cool, we'll put it here, and then we put the skills lab. So they were doing the construction. So we kind of didn't move in until like October. We had everything kind of just waiting for us. We had like stuff in the garage at home. I had all these desks, these training tables, these chairs, everything. We moved everything in October. And then it got like finally approved by CDPH in December. Wow. And so just kind of wanting to just in a way kind of like I said, setting the foundation and wanting to like kind of keep my grandmother passed away in 2015. So wanting to keep like her legacy alive too. She was with the AIDS. She had her own AIDS hospice in like the early 90s in Long Beach.
AIDS hospice in the 90s? That's powerful.
Yeah. So we was like, okay. She was like the first AIDS hospice to get licensed by Community Care Licensing.
Wow.
And they called her the Mother Teresa of Long Beach.
What?
So she had like a little newspaper article, and she would just do stuff like for free. Like she didn't even care. Like bring them. We'll go buy big bags of rice, beans. We'll just feed everybody. Like that was her thing. So kind of wanting to keep her legacy alive, and like, okay, she wanted to go back. She had her ADN. So just like, okay, my mom kind of did her BSN, kind of like, I'm going to do it for her. And then my mom went and got her master's in education, and was just like, okay, and I think it's not done. So when I told her you had your PhD, she was like, oh my God. She was like, I gotta talk to her. I was like,
she might get a different answer.
Right, what are we doing it for? We're gonna make some more money.
Oh, right.
But I get it.
Just kind of wanting to keep like my grandmother's legacy alive, and like, okay, let's do something for her. Let's kind of incorporate her, even though it's not necessarily with the AIDS population. It's just like just extending the legacy. And just kind of keeping it going. So it was like, whoo, it was quick. It was like I couldn't believe it happened in that time frame. I kept thinking like, oh, would it be like another year or so? And then we had our grand opening January 28th this year. And I missed it because I got my appendix removed.
Oh no.
I was like, all of this for me to miss this specific day.
Yeah.
So we had the mayor of Norwalk there, like some of the city council members. We had the whole ribbon cutting ceremony, the whole thing, and I was in the hospital.
So let me ask you this question though. Like, okay, so did you get any type of mentorship? Did you get there? How did you? What did y'all do?
So
let's just say you're talking to somebody who have no idea. What would you tell them to do? What would be the first few steps for them to do? Like,
the first
if they're gonna do it themselves, because you didn't get no coaching, right?
It wasn't no coaching. Okay. We kind of were like just figuring it out. Like, okay, so we looked this up and looked that up and kind of just digging little parts that we knew. I did have like someone that was like, I know a girl that like has a CNA school in South Carolina. So she was really, really sweet. We met when I was out visiting that way, and so she kind of was giving little tips about things to do, but no one here obviously in California that was helping. So it was like, okay, we just kind of figured out. The first thing I think we did was like our LLC and all of that stuff, but I don't remember. I mean, it kind of really just happened fast, but I feel like just kind of digging into it. My mom was like on that side of it, like that was her little brains on that side. But just really, I don't know, like it was just a lot. Like digging into it, looking on the website, like, well, what do we need to submit our packet? Like, okay, we need the lesson plan, we need submit our resumes, we need okay, what book are we going to use that's going to coincide with the lesson plans that are given, because they have that you can create your own, but they have them online, which people don't share that information, but it's okay. They like
spill the tea though. Where's the lesson plan?
Right. They're on CDPH.
Because they can easily. That's the thing. Like, it's like, listen, I always tell people, you got either time or money. You decide. Like, if you want to hire a coach and let them do it for you, cool. But if you don't and you want to, then go get it. Yeah. Because everything is out there. You just got to do the research.
Yeah.
So it's on CDPH. That's the California Department of Public Health, you guys.
And it was like, okay, so we can go on there and get the lesson plans. Okay, great. And it's like, okay, but they have different versions. There's so many CNA books. So we're like, okay, we're going to go with this book. We're going to get the lesson plan here. We still, of course, we had, like I said, submit our resumes. We had to find a facility, skilled nursing facility that would want to work with us and sign to contract with us to have our students go there.
Was that difficult?
It was kind of difficult, just kind of finding, you would call out of them. They're like, okay, well, we have students already right now. I'm sorry, we're kind of filled up right now. Oh, well, we have 2 schools going on right now. So we'll be like, okay, we'll call another one. Okay, we'll call another one. But I mean, even small things like finding what uniforms we wanted them to wear, getting the patches made. It was just like all the little like details. Okay, got to get the books. You got to order this. We have to, it was a lot. Getting the supplies, like, okay, so you get the bed. We have the bed. Okay, we have to get the mannequin. And a lot of like my mom's friends would be like, oh, I have a mannequin. She was teaching like LVNs at home, so she had a mannequin. Like, okay, I can sell you guys the mannequin. But just little things that if you don't know anybody that has any of this, it's expensive.
Yeah, that was my next question is, how did you guys get the funding for it?
Working and paying.
Is it expensive though to start this type of school?
It is.
It is. So what's well, first of all, we're in Cali. So for those of you guys who are in other states, it may not. Cali. You gotta pay the weather tax out here. All right. So let's just really. How much would you say someone should have set aside if they wanted to start a CNA school in Cali?
In Cali. Oh, that's a good question. Oh, I'm scared to say a number.
No, because there are plenty of people who want to start CNA schools. And it's possible. Without funding, obviously, that's what you and your mom did. But if you don't have the funding, you gotta have the money.
I mean, $50,000 may be a good start, and I may be being nice about it, but that would be a good start. It just depending on how far because you may find, like, we were able to give and take a little bit, where you can find furniture at some places where it's like, oh, okay, we got our training desk, we got it for a cheap, like half the price maybe. Okay, but something else we had to pay full price for. We already had these items, so we don't have to worry about that. So that kind of give or take, but you still have to, like, if you're going to buy a building, I guess, but we're leasing. Obviously, we're leasing our building, so you had to still, it's like leasing anything. You still have to lease that. Down payment.
Yeah,
so it kind of gets a little
pricey.
It kind of gets a little pricey.
And I don't think $50. Okay, because like, and this is the thing that I like to talk to. I talk to my mentees about this all the time. It's like, you know, it's an investment. So
you have to invest in your business, and
right?
what you're doing.
And it should be a
not,
return on that. So if you guys have this business through your lifetime, your kids, when you have kids, and so on, and you did an upfront investment.
Yeah,
of $50.
you're right.
Like and it's something that appreciates over time. And you may not recoup that $50. I don't know your finances, but you may not recoup it in the first year. It may take 3 to 5 years to recoup it, but then everything after that. So it's a long-term investment. And I think people don't flinch when I hear $50,000 because I know it's investing in something that's going to grow over time.
Even like we have like brochures and our business cards, just things like that. Getting T-shirts made. We have like little tote bags.
Marketing.
We have all the marketing. Just all of that. I think it's a lot. It's just. When you think about it, it's like, okay, you're getting stuff for your break room. You have to have the refrigerator. You have to have tables and the microwaves. It's like all the things that add up. So it doesn't. This one item may not be $100, but it's like that 50, 75, 25, 10, 15 that adds up, and you're like, oh, okay, so wow, so where are we now? So it was like, okay, you gotta just keep working because we are, But a lot of people were like, okay, so what about the grants? You guys didn't get any grants, and I'm like, well, not yet, but it's still, I guess, time to do that and kind of just. So we can kind of, put money back. Right. Yeah. So be able to do other things.
So you launched in January of 2024.
Yes.
So we're only just barely April. So that's really 3 months.
And we just started our first class actually on my mom's birthday, March 25th. So we just started. So we're just in our second week of classes with them. So we have our full-time group and then our part-time. So we have a total of 4 students.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're
and also like we do have to talk about you. You have a team, don't you? You have who also is you, your mom, and do you have anyone else who teaches your students?
Not as of yet.
Okay, so it's you and your mom who are interchanging. You guys are rotating with you. I like that. Okay.
So we have because that's again is another process. So just saying you were like, well, I'm going to come and teach too. We got to take all your credentials, everything, and send all that to the state. So it get approved. So it is people that like my mom. We have my mom's coworkers. Some of my coworkers, they are going to help, but actually officially have started. No, because the approval is not officially there yet. So we are, and then I work night shift. So it's like the days when I work at night, my mom's like, oh, so I have to be there tomorrow because then you get off, you can't go.
Yeah.
They're at, so we're kind of working around, and then she's still working too. So yeah.
I like that you guys are, like just getting open. I think that it really gives a different perspective too, because I think some people think, you have to have it all figured out before you do
and it's
it.
like we're kind of like, no, okay. So and my mom was like, I can't do this secretarial work. She's like, this is too much. So I'm like, because all of the little things like, okay, have them sign this and sign because we have to send after the first week. We have to send the student stuff to the state. So then they get so that they can go through their process, and then when they take their test at the end, so all their fingerprints, like all that needs to be done in the first week. So we had a lady come to our school. She did the fingerprints for them. So all their paperwork, everything. I mean, their address, everything is like legit in, and we have to send it all off. And she's like, okay, then we get the schedules together for clinicals, letting the site know how many going to be there at this particular day, what day are you guys starting clinicals? Oh, so this is that group, but then when does the second group start? Because it's 2 different groups, and I'm like,
it's a lot.
All the logistics.
I don't know this side.
Yeah.
I don't know it either. Yeah. Like we're not secretaries, but. So we're trying to get some. So if you guys are trying to come and help us, let us know.
And they are out in Milwaukee, California, right? Okay, so you guys I know you just launched, and it happened all fast. But what was your big learning opportunities in this journey? Would you say like where you were like, you know what, looking back on it, something like. Did you have hoops that you had to jump through? Rings of fire? Like, what was your... I would
just say not really, like, waiting and trying to depend on people. Because it would be like, well, this person got this. Well, maybe let's ask them. Or I wonder if they... Well, let me see if they... And it's like, it was online this whole time. Like, just something like that. Even with the lesson plan, it's like, well, who knows how to write a lesson? Like, why do we know how to write lesson plans? This is not what we're not teachers. We don't know. And it's like, okay, we're kind of asking people. And it's kind of like... ooh, I don't know. Okay, I'll get you the book. Ooh, okay, I'll let you know. It's one of those, and you're like, well, we would have kind of waited on the I'll let you know. We would still be where we are last year. No building, no.
So are you saying
kind of just
gatekeeping people not really wanting to spill the tea?
They don't really want to spill
Yeah.
the tea. And I don't hate that for them.
Yes, it's sad.
Yeah, it's like you can just go ahead and share. It's not, we're not going to steal your shine or your anything. It's like, do let us know. You can tell us like, oh, hey, just do these things, do these 7 things or whatever. Okay, cool. Then you can just do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, people don't always want to share. I mean, the people that did share, I'm not saying I really appreciate it, but it was a lot that was like, oh, well, you know.
That's a scarcity mindset, y'all.
Yeah.
Scarcity. Those that don't want to share, they're just scared. They have this mindset where there's you gonna take mine and you can't take what's meant for you.
You can't take
it's
period.
yours. It's ordained.
I was gonna ask, how was it getting your first students? How did that feel, or how was that a struggle?
It was definitely a struggle. We were like, so we had the grand opening January 28th, and then we were trying to say, oh, we're gonna start class February 12th. Well, we had no students.
Got students for class.
We were like, okay, like it's no students. So when we got posted on SBR in LA's page, then it was like, it was crazy. It was crazy. It was like all the followers.
Talk about that though.
Talk
about that, because I think people don't realize the power in, now it's just one. Imagine if you had 10 of those type of places post you. Right. Can you talk about that as far as marketing is concerned?
It was like life changing. It was like, whoa, okay. We went from like 130 followers to like 930 or 900. It's like 920 something now. And then like we have it set up on our website where you can go on and like click to sign up for a tour. So you put your name in, your email, your phone number, and then we'll like contact you based on that to become a student or to tour the school. So it was like emails are flying in. I was like, my mom was like, look, another one. She was like, oh, this is so good. So we're sitting one night, we were there late, and we were like, okay, we're writing them down. And like, okay, I'm gonna call this person, and she's like, you taking the notes? Okay, what? And so she's like, oh, okay. She's like, I think they got a job already. So, okay, do you work? Okay, this. I'm going through this, and I'll probably call that first day or two. I'll probably call like 60 people. I was talking a lot because some people were on the phone 15 minutes, and some people it's 3. Yeah, and they're just like, okay, great, that's good information. Okay, thank you. And some people are really like, what is CNA? I mean, I got the questions like, so what is a CNA? I was like, okay. Right.
Yeah. You didn't think about that. Because in your world, everybody know what a CNA is, right?
It's like, that's funny. I didn't realize that people know they don't know. Yeah. They don't know. So it's time to break it all the way down. What it is, what are some of your roles? What are you? So I was doing that, and I was like, oh, wow, this is something that's beneficial. Like, people need this. It was just interesting to get all of the good feedback, and people were like, oh my God, I read your whole story, and we had like our whole bio and everything on the website. So they're like, I read everything. I love that. And I was like, oh my God. They're on the phone like, I'm excited. I live in Norwalk. I'm coming. So I'm going to sign up. Okay, so what day can I come tour the school? It was like, okay, now we're going to finally have students. And so we were like really, really, really excited. And we did like because people kept wanting to come. So when we were making the call, we kind of like made an orientation. Like, okay, we're just having everybody come this day. Yes. So we're doing one tour and not just like, okay, you're here at 2 o'clock, you're here at 3 o'clock. And it was like, that'll be too much. So we kind of had like an orientation. Had everybody come. That was before, so we started class on 25th. We had it March 21st. And so everybody kind of came, and we were like, okay, we just did just little like a breakdown. Just one of the other professors, my mom's friend, she had like a PowerPoint and kind of just talked and explained to them, like just breaking down like what a CNA is, what are we about, like our school and us personally. And we just kind of talked to them and explained everything. We went over like the steps to how to apply and what's included in the program and all that. So they were like, okay, they were all interested. So they signed up after like that, and then they started on the 25th.
So
4 of them.
I'm just smiling. I feel like I'm like, so how do you feel?
I feel like really, really good. Because I didn't know how it felt to like teach. I feel like my personality, I'm a little bossy. But I didn't know the teaching side of it, because in the hospital I am teaching in a different kind of way. You already non-compliant, but listen, take your blood pressure medicine. Right? You need to do this, you know, and it's different. They're just kind of like, okay, whatever. But when you're teaching, you're molding someone that doesn't know anything. It's a different feeling. You're kind of like, and then you're watching them grow. I'll do stuff like, okay, so if the patient says, so what you gonna do? And they're like, well, okay, I'm gonna tell the child. I'm like, you guys are getting it. Like in 2 days or 3 days, you guys are getting it. So it feels really, really rewarding to be on the other side, to have been a CNA or I did mine in ROP in high school. So to be like in high school, being a CNA, like looking at my instructor, and I was like, oh my God, wow, like look at her. And then now to be on the other side, I'm like, this is definitely a full circle moment. So it's rewarding, because I teach in a different kind of, just educate in a different kind of way at work for bedside. So this has been like, oh, this is great. This is actually like, I think it's better than I thought. I was kind of like, I don't even know what to do. Really. I mean, to be really honest, I was like, well, I never taught anything. This was like, you know, we had to do a course, DSD course in order for me to be qualified to teach. But it was like the course wasn't teaching you what to do. They were just like, okay, you got it, cool. So then you're kind of here, and I'm like, but as you're looking at the slides, I'm showing them, I'm demonstrating, I'm giving examples. Okay, great, let's go on a skills lab, let's do this transfer. No, we're not going to transfer like that. Let's pull it closer, because what's happening right here? Oh, they can fall. Great. You guys are putting it together. You're watching the videos we're talking about. You're looking at the PowerPoints. We're going over questions. I'm throwing in questions. I'm like, what time is 2200? They be like, oh. And it's so cute. And they'll be like, I'm like, at 10. I'm like, but is it in the morning time? And they're like, no, that's at night. I'm like, yes. Oh, that's so little things. And they're like, I never knew military time. So little things like that. And it's just like, wow, like this is really, 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 really good. This is really good.
Changing lives.
It is. I was like, I didn't think so. I didn't know we would be here today. Even though like it just seems so like, oh, like we're doing it, but it's like, when are we really gonna get students? Yeah. And then it kind of just took off, and it was like, oh,
that's what happens. You're like,
today.
When? And then
like,
you're like,
when already? Like show up in the morning.
That's exactly how it happens. That's why they say like you got to be prepared. Like it's better to have an opportunity and be prepared than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. So just stay prepared just in case. But I was going to ask you too, like with working with your mom, I know you guys are partners in this. How would you say, like, because I've never had Crystal and I are partners in this, but like when I first started, it was just me. And like I do now appreciate the value of having someone there who like we can bounce off of each other, like where she fall, I pick up, I fall, she pick up. Like we can do that. How is that working in a partnership? And it's with your mom, so how's that?
It's absolutely amazing. We are already, you guys will be looking at us if she was here like, oh boy. She'd be like, this is my baby. She thinks I'm 2 months old still. And we are like 2 peas in a pod. So it's so great. It's so great. I couldn't have picked a better person other than my grandmother if she was here. And it works just like that, because the side of it, like the social media side, when I first told her about the podcast, she's like, no, you go ahead and go. I'm not gonna go. And I'm like, they didn't invite you. I was like, because her thing is like, this is not my world. Like I don't know, like the whole thing. She's like, I don't know how to, what is it like? She's like, no, but she's gonna dig in, she's gonna get the information, she's gonna do the side of it like that she doesn't like to do either. Now. But she's learning. She's like, I've learned so much, like the paperwork side of it and just administrative stuff and do this and do that. It's good that we complement each other, and I think we can give the students a different perspective coming from different generations. So even with her being able to share her generation, but as well as share the generation with my grandmother, because she also worked with her as well. They did home health together. She helped with it. That's kind of how she got started with even being a CNA too. She was like, can I get paid for this? Like, my grandma was like, yeah, you can do this. And my grandmother has home health agencies as well. She's had in the past. So my mom has always been like helping her and just right there with her. They would go see patients and she'll be like, go ahead, mama, I'll do the notes for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, cause my grandmother would be like, just running around seeing patients. You haven't done no notes yet. So she'll be like, okay, I got you. So she got to work with her, and also just kind of seeing how things were back in those days. Even when the AIDS came about, they didn't even want to.
No, that's why I'm saying.
And she didn't even, they was like, oh, I'm not taking those patients. My grandmother would like, I'll just stay and keep them. Your shift is over with. You're still staying here at work to care for the ones they don't want to take care of. So she can kind of give that perspective, and then I can give the perspective of like what we're doing now in nursing. Like what's really like, okay, because my mom is not working bedside anymore. But still, it's still a different generation. So a lot of our students are younger, so they're kind of like, okay, we can kind of, and then, but let's hear, okay, how they was doing it back in the day. Okay, cool. So they can get a little bit of both. So it works great. Like us being a team, it just kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I'm really not against partnership, especially when I think the biggest problem with
people don't know how to do it right.
They are looking for someone who's just like them. That's a bad partnership. You're supposed to be you good at this, I'm good at that, and then we come together. But if we both good at the same thing, that's leaving a gap in that part. So I think that's the part that people miss. And plus, it's your mom, and she's a nurse, so I think that makes it so dope. So listen, I know we've been trying to keep our podcast at 30 minutes, and I can talk. So
me too. I am definitely a talker.
I'm a talker. But I did want to, ask you a last question, and this is for those who are. They don't even have to be necessarily interested in starting a CNA school, but just interested in entrepreneurship. They're nurses. They're working at the bedside. Because one of the things I like, and I told you this before we started recording, is that you still work right now because you just started your business. A lot of people are saying, I can't do it because I have to work. Yeah. So
I mean, it's really hard. And I think it just depends, not to cut you off, but like being like, if you're working a night shift, day shift thing, and then what you're doing, maybe where the location is of your business. And if you're doing it alone and you don't have the help, then you're kind of like, well, how am I going to be here and here at 6 o'clock? I'm sorry. I guess I have to go where the money already is because this is kind of guaranteed. I'm kind of just stepping out on faith over here, and that's good. Yeah, and you got to do that, but you got to be real a little bit too. And
so how do you do? Okay, so with you, for example, you to make with all of that you're saying, you still did it. So you see the value in it. So what makes you, and I say this all the time about the audacity. So like, what makes you like, even though it's hard, even though I still have to work because I got bills to pay, I'm still going to do this. Like, what makes you do that? Because I think that is a differentiating factor. We all could easily just stay at our cushy job, especially as nurses in California, right? We could do that. Yeah. But like, there's something that's more valuable in it that I think a lot of people don't realize. And everyone has their own why, right? Mine is my kids. Mine is just wanting to show them more, right? Yours could be motivated by your grandma, wanting to be leave a legacy, her legacy, whatever it is. It's bigger than I can't. So tell me about that.
Mine for me is going after something that belongs to you. And I feel that to me it's big. I always say, like, to me, like, being a nurse is super amazing. And I said, but it's still bigger than that for me. It's still more than that. I look at it like a ministry. Like, I'm in there with my patients. We praying. We're in there. I'm like, wait a minute. I don't got the gloves on or nothing. I'm not a nurse right now. This is beyond that, and I really care about people and their well-being. It's not just like, oh, well, come be a nurse. You may not want to be a nurse, but let's connect. If you do, let's connect and let's lay out the foundation of it. And let me explain, because I find myself even in patients' room if they have their grandkids with them. I'm in there 30 or 40 minutes and we're talking about the different routes about nursing and what route you can go and you can go do this, and I'm just like, this is meant. This is meant. So to be able to do that at our own establishment is like everything. So I just think it's just knowing, like, it's just more than just being a nurse. It's more than that. Like, your passion is more, and like the legacy, of course, and just doing something for yourself that you can pass down in your family and just kind of continue and not feel like you just punching the clock. You can't be like, look, okay, my business is flourishing. I am in Europe. Okay, I don't need. What are you talking about?
Right.
Text me. I'm not even here. And knowing that, like, you are beyond staying afloat. You are creating memories with your kids, with your family, and can say, like, I don't have to be like, mommy has work today. Like, okay.
Yes.
And you're like, oh no, we are working. We always working.
Yes.
But we right here about to get on these camels. What you want to do? Okay.
Yes,
You know, so I think that's my why. It's just the passion I have for people, and just wanting them to just do all you can, be all you can be. Don't limit yourself. Don't doubt yourself and put yourself down, and just go for it. Like just do it.
Just do it. Yeah, money can't be your motivation, you guys. And honestly, every time we have a podcast, I'm always saying that is because it's like so superficial.
Especially with nursing, that's the one. Maybe you can do it with something else, but nursing,
you gotta go deeper. And even with entrepreneurship, you gotta go deeper because you can make the money.
It's like blood, sweat, and tears.
Then what though? Like, what are you leaving that will have a lasting impact? And if you don't connect with that, you will still feel very much shallow. That's why you can have the biggest car, the luxury car, you can have the biggest house or whatever. If you don't have a deeper purpose, you are still going to be
just
unhappy.
have just that car.
That's it.
Just that luxury house. It's like, what else? It's like,
that's it.
And I feel like I'm so much more than just like I'm a registered nurse. Like, and that is outstanding. So I'm not saying that's because it was hard to get there. But
being a nurse is great.
It's more than that. Yeah. Like what else?
I feel like
what else can you offer other than just being a nurse? Like along with being a nurse, what other components within that can you offer? It's like a tree. Like what else? What other branches do you have? Because that's the root of it. We get that. Like you have earned that rightfully so. You're here, but it's like, okay, what is this branch doing over here? What about this one? What about that one? The one that's curving over here. You should be able to do all other things as well.
Yeah. And I would even argue to say that your impact, I feel like you just have an obligation. Like, especially if you're a nurse, like you are limiting yourself if only people you're connecting with is your patients. What about beyond that? And beyond that, like you said, the branches out. Like and you should feel convicted if you don't do more, if you're called to do more. I'm saying if you have that calling and you don't answer it, you should feel convicted because that means that you are totally ignoring the greater impact that you can have. That means the people who you could impact are not going to be impacted, and that's selfish.
And also thinking about those who are waiting for you to do the thing that you need to do so that they can do the thing that they need to do.
Follow your calling. That's what it is.
That's it.
Because that's what I really feel. When I'm talking to them on another level and we're talking school and just legacy and just all that you can do with nursing. I'm like, you don't have to do bedside. There's so many other. I'm like, I just be like, this is my, and it's almost like a moment, and I know it's a calling. Like when I say nobody interrupts me, I don't get a call from I'm in that room, like I'm like this with them, and I'm like, how am I in here for 40 minutes? Like you're not even looking for me. I'm like, because God was like, you need to tell them this. This is for them. This is nobody else is around. It's for you, and I need you to understand this right now, and you're not gonna have any interruptions. So it's like it's your calling.
I love it.
That's it.
Well, you guys, today was deep.
Yeah, it was.
And I'm really happy about that because I know there's a lot of people that are going to hear your story and are going to be very inspired, Adriana, because they are sitting on their little soapbox saying all the reasons why they can't, and you just gave them several reasons why they can't.
Do it. Please do it. Do it for you. Do it for your family. Do it.
Yes. So listen, how can they find you? Tell us about, like, if they know somebody in SoCal. You're not doing online. Are you doing online yet?
No, not yet.
Will you be doing online?
That is the goal.
Okay.
That is the goal.
I heard that you can do online in Cali now.
Yeah, okay. I heard it too. Just like partially, and then you have to do your clinical. So that is the goal. Yeah. And it's funny, someone asked me that today that called to reach out, and they were like, okay, is it online? And I was like, not yet.
Okay.
So that is the goal. We're trying to get online. Yes.
Okay, and then what's the bigger vision? Because you didn't name it third generation CNA school. You named it third generation nursing academy. So that to me says that there's a bigger vision here. So tell us about the bigger vision.
So the bigger vision would be eventually, eventually, probably LVN school, and then possibly RN school, but also we're also doing like IB refresher courses. So for people that are just like, oh, I just got out of school,
certification,
so
even,
even,
IB certified.
well, even that as well, but even just like I just graduated, I'm a new grad.
We started an hydration business, and I need extra training because we get that all the time.
Yes, we do. We get a lot of people who are like,
Okay.
I've been working in administration, like I'm starting IB.
Right, yeah, because my mom notices a lot when she works with her her RN students, and they're like about to finish, they're about to graduate. She works with the group that's in leadership, and they're like, oh, if you don't get the practice, you just don't happen to get practice with IBs. You just don't. It just doesn't happen. So she's like, okay, this will be great, and she mentioned to them, and they're like, okay, when are you starting? Yeah. So they want to get
She should do it.
Yeah.
When I used to work, I told you already, I used to work at the same university your mom works at, and not at the location, but a different one. And one of my colleagues, he started his business off of that. He started doing EKGs, EKG interpretation. Same thing. What do you call it? ACLS, BLS. Like he was offering all these certifications, and these students was eating it up. Okay. So that would be a good add-on.
So she's like, I want to do like, and eventually do like the IB certification, but it's like more so just like we coming into practice. Like don't be all up, because at clinicals you're all uptight, or you don't, the opportunity doesn't present itself. You're like, oh well, the patient already had an IV and I got to hang the antibiotics, but I didn't get, and that's it. So to be able to say, okay, like look, I'm gonna give them my homegirl, my cousin come in, we all just finished school, like come and practice. Or my aunt finished already, she's been a nurse for a couple years, but maybe she was working in case management. Well, she's not starting IVs. So to be like, okay, you can come here, we can do a couple like 8 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours. I don't know what she exactly like lined up as far as the time frame. But just a few hours, kind of go through a presentation talking about different gauges, importance of needles, what they would need it for, what they need IVs for.
I love that.
Kind of breaking that down and then letting them like practice. So even if you come in with somebody, you can practice on them. Obviously have like the arm mannequin, letting them practice and kind of just getting the motion of like sticking them.
I love the bigger vision. I think a lot of people in business, they don't have a bigger vision. And what happens is sometimes you don't have to have it all laid out. You just pay attention to the problems and you just create solutions for them. It sounds like that too, what you guys are doing as well. So how can they reach you though? Like what are your socials, your websites?
Okay, so Instagram is 3rd Gen Nursing Academy, all together. No, spelled out. THIRDGENNURSING Academy. And then so website as well, but the website has the dash, THIRD-GenNursingAcademy.com. And then my Instagram is beautiful Adri. ADRII. Okay. Yeah, so beautiful ADRII.
Okay, awesome. And then your academy is in the city of Norwalk. So if you're in SoCal,
come visit us.
Do you guys do monthly what do you call tours, orientation? What do you call it?
Or anytime. So you go on the website and you go to schedule a tour. Put your information in. You can and we'll be contacting you, and then you can schedule something to come in.
All right. Well, listen, you guys. Thank you so much, Adriana, for coming and bringing all the
value.
You guys. You are so welcome. Thank you for bringing our community value. There's a lot of you guys out there who are thinking about starting a CNA school. Remember, if you want to do it, you can. You're just a decision away. You have to decide, and once you make the decision, you have to act on it. You don't have to know the how, because God will work that out for you. I truly believe. But you do have to make a decision and keep going. And this is something that can be done when you're working, so don't use the excuse that you have to get your job.
It's doable. Believe
she said it's hard, but it's doable. But nothing that is worth it is gonna come easy. I don't care what you try to do. So get ready, get used to the hard. So thank you so much for joining us. You guys, don't be stingy. Gatekeep. If you have family or friends, share this episode. Like, oh my gosh, this girl Adriana is dope. She's young. She is young, and she's doing it because she made a decision, and you can too, you guys. So don't gatekeep. Make sure you share. Also, make sure you subscribe if you're watching on the YouTube channel. Hit that like button if you found this valuable. And until next time, you guys, bye.